on right now, especially with like proteins and some of these better supplements to try out and why you should be taking them. So, um, I guess we'll go ahead and dive right on into some of the more obscure is we're going to hit like these, the Abs of Steel, Abs of Steel and Steel Fit Tone. These are a topical thermogenic. So what you would do is actually after you work out, go home, take a shower, get ready for bed. You would take about a quarter size portion of this into the palm of your hand, rub it around your midsection, um, and that will actually heat up while you sleep and help deplete the water weight, the water that's in the fat cell. So the next morning you would have a slimmer look. It also helps to tighten the skin up around your midsection. The other one, the Steel Fit Tone, is kind of an all over body. So back of the legs, glutes, arms would be your Steel Fit Tone. These are not expensive. They're like 40 bucks. Same you probably pay for a thermogenic. I will, if anybody reaches out to us on Facebook, I will put these up for sale. If somebody remote wants to buy these from us, I can do that. Also, from the same company, you got the Guns of Steel. Now, what this will be a topical ointment you would put on your biceps, triceps, forearms to get a better pump in the gym. I've tried this out. I love this stuff, especially if I'm going to do a heavy arm day. It just feels like you get a lot better pump that lasts a lot longer. And that's really what you're looking for is to get the pump, get that muscle fascia stretched out for as long as you can. And these are really some real good quality products when it comes to that. A lot of the thermogenics that come out for fat burning and stuff like that doesn't really work all that great. They will deplete the water in the fat cell, but once you rehydrate, they come right back. There are some of them we've got downstairs. Sayucor used to make a T7 thermogenic that was amazing, and it would just completely destroy the fat cell, and I'd use that on several occasions, and it worked out very good. Um, but they had discontinued that. I do have a couple thermogenics. One of them is our own brand that we had manufactured. They work very good. I've got one without caffeine. I've got one with caffeine. So if you get a lot of anxiety when you take heavy amounts of caffeine, especially the first thing in the morning, you'd want to go with the non-caffeinated type. I was trying to get a guest on the phone earlier, but apparently Huck Finn don't answer text messages anymore because I was going to talk a few things about his products too and why I brought them into Zone Nutrition. Other than me and him just being friends, um, I actually support him with his products because he's got a very good product out there. He's got a couple of them actually. Um, but before we get to him, let's still talk about pre-workout. Now, a lot of you probably don't know the whole story behind the Muscle Farm incident a couple years ago. If you remember, Muscle Farm used to be on every UFC ring. They had so many competitors out there um, that was sponsored athletes. Well, what happened with Muscle Farm is they got a contract with Walmart. Walmart called them up and said, we want, especially when they got the Arnold series protein, which was a great protein, great products. They they said we want you in every Walmart. Here's a check for 20 million. But you got 30 days to make it happen. So the salesman that landed this big contract with Walmart goes back to the CEO, CFO. So we got a $20 million contract with Walmart. We need to fill all these orders within 30 days. Every flavor, a pallet of every flavor to 150,000 box stores across the United States, which is huge for any company. Well, they could not, even with the manufacturing they had in place, if they stopped every other order, no other store got their product, they could not supply that. when you actually broke it down, let's say a jug of 2 pound protein cost that manufacturer $11 to make. What Walmart was actually paying them was $7 per unit. So the only way they could do it is to outsource the product to get all this protein made somewhere else. By the time you manufacture the protein, flavor it, package it in the container, seal it, put a label on it, warehouse it, and ship it, they were well over $15 a bottle. So they were losing half. They were gonna lose $10 million on the deal. So what Muscle Farm did was they contacted a company in China to manufacture. Can you make this protein with our labels, with our ingredients that we want in there? Can you do that? And China said, we'll do it for $5 a bottle. So Muscle Farm said, okay, now we're actually going to make some profit off of this. But what it did was it cost them their whole company and a multi-million-dollar lawsuit across the board from everybody. So what happened was if you ever get a bad protein and you go to mix it up and it clumps up, and as you drink it you feel bloated, the number one outsource that they have in China is going to be rice. So within that bottle of so-called protein was a lot of powdered rice. So try drinking powdered rice. You're going to feel bloated. You're going to have GI issues. It's gonna tear you up, and that's exactly what happened to Muscle Farm. By the time that they came in and looked at that label and it said 24 grams of protein, and they broke that protein down, well, it had rat hair in it. It had all kinds of feces, anything that was called amino spiking. And you spike your aminos up higher, you're going to get a higher protein count when you do a lab test. But when they were doing the lab test, since it's made in China, you had all this other stuff. So beware when you go to places like Walmart. And I think there was a lawsuit a couple years ago for Walmart, Walgreens, GNC, Target, and another one. If you look up class action lawsuit supplement with some of those names in at Walmart and stuff in it, you'll see the lawsuit that came up where their house vitamin C at Walmart, the Sunny Valley or whatever it is, did not contain any vitamin C whatsoever. But Walmart also went to Cellucor. Now we all know that Cellucor C4 products has a great flavor, a lot of beta alanine in it. A lot of the high school kids take it because they like the tingles and stuff like that. Well, now Walmart carries that C4. But what happened was when they went to Cellucor and said, we want your product in all of our box stores, and they did the same thing they did with Muscle Farm, and they gave them a crappy deal. We're going to pay $5 per unit, is what they ended up coming up with. Cellucor came back and said, you want a $5 per unit? We'll sell you a $5 per unit. It'll still say C4 on it, but it won't have any of the products in it, any of the ingredients, the active ingredients that you could find at your local Zone Nutrition. So I've got the label off of the C4 from Walmart, and you can double check this next time you go into Walmart. The magnesium and sodium is about the same. The potassium is about the same. But where they get you at, and I don't know if you can really see that, but right in here at the bottom of it, there is Performance Blend, where they take 6 or 7 different items, they throw it in a blend, so they don't give you the accurate measurement of each thing. But on their Performance Blend is 3.18 grams. Now, on top of that, the Energy Blend, which is taurine, your caffeine anhydrous, a couple other things, is 1.13 grams, which is 135 milligrams of caffeine. On the C4, the actual C4 that we sell, it's going to be your caffeine's 150 milligrams, not the 135. We don't have everything clumped up into a big proprietary blend. We have an explosive energy blend, which is going to be more your caffeine, your teacrine. There's a seed extract and a velvet bean, and I don't know why they would put velvet bean in there, but whatever. Anyway, 1 gram acetylene malate. Now that's very important because your citrulline is what's going to give you that good solid pump in the gym. You want citrulline in every one of your pre-workouts. There's a creatine nitrate in here of 1 gram. There is a niacin, which I'm sure it's going to be a flush-free niacin. And there's beta alanine at 1.6 grams. Back to your original Walmart brand here. There is no, there's a little bit of beta alanine. There's some arginine, but pretty much this is crap. There isn't nothing on there that would even compare to what you would find in a regular nutrition store. So when you're going to Walmart and it has the label on it, even though the labels look similar, you need to look at the ingredients because your ingredients are not going to match what you think you're getting. If you're used to buying a supplement at the lockup and then you go to replace that supplement with something from Walmart or a Target or something like that, first off, you don't know where it's manufactured. It could be manufactured overseas, just like what Muscle Farm had done. It could be what Cycor just did and was decrease the active ingredients down to nothing. And you're buying pretty much just fillers. I mean, the fillers, the difference between C4, what we sell, and C4 at Walmart is going to be completely different. Like I said, there is no citrulline in the one at Walmart. There is not the same amount of caffeine at the one at Walmart. Your creatine, none in the one at Walmart. So just be aware of what's on the label, not exactly what the label says, but look at the ingredients before you go spending your money and you're saying, oh, well, I got this great pre-workout. Zone Nutrition's charging $40 for it, but Walmart has it for $30. Well, yeah, well, you're really getting $5 worth of shit is what you're getting. You're not getting all those active ingredients. Now, another question that somebody asked me recently, who should be taking protein? Everybody should be taking protein. Not always just the whey protein. Stay away from the soy proteins. It's not going to do anything. It's going to bloat you out. Some of the 6-star and some of these other cheaper proteins, when you start getting bloated out, you know that it's manufactured in China and it's full of powdered rice. What we mainly sell at the lockup, and I've done this now for a while, is the Redcon 1, the MRE Light. And the main reason why this has got salmon protein in it, beef protein, a lot of vegan protein in there, but there's no soy and there's no whey protein in it. Not that whey protein's bad, but when you're getting your protein out of whole foods, this is what they're talking about. It's not just the milk and cheese protein and the isolates and this and that. This protein is going to be even more pure than what an isolate is because you're actually using the protein out of salmon, fish, chicken, eggs, pea protein. That's all in here. No soy, no whey. That's going to be a lot better for you. And it's going to be easier to digest, too. It's going to actually make your digestion last longer. So the more protein you take in, the more fat you're going to burn. For a guy, on average, it should be 1 gram per body pound. If you're 200 pounds, you should take 200 grams of protein a day. Now, not all from this, from your common foods too, but not everybody can go out and eat 10 meals a day. So in comparison, 24 grams of protein here is going to be equivalent to 4 eggs. You get 6 grams per egg, or a good sized chicken breast would be about the same, 16 to 24 grams there. But definitely take your protein, especially when you're starting to get older. Man, I'm starting to get older too. I don't eat as much as what I used to. And then even later in life, you see the older people that, your grandfather that was a good sized guy is starting to wither down because they're not taking in that amount of protein. I was very fortunate that we had the nutrition store in town that had closed up before I opened Zone. Cecil that ran that was still actively competing in bodybuilding at 75 years old. And you take Cecil compared to another 75-year-old or a 65-year-old, and Cecil still had a lot more muscle mass on him. It's because he was taking that protein all the time. And, I've told my mother to, if you're not eating a lot of meat and stuff like that, which you shouldn't when you get older, you should kind of stay away from the red meats a little bit more. But definitely, if you're taking that protein, you're getting that in, you're getting creatine in your body, you're getting what your body desires. Now we get into pre-workouts a little bit. One of my favorite things, when you get a good pre-workout, Purist Labs, and these guys have been cutting edge for years. They just actually sold out to Finaflex, which has been a tremendous company, but they're Noxygen. And all this is a clumped up powder, and it's supposed to be clumpy, but this is more of your citrulline mix to get more oxygen and nitrous oxide into your bloodstream. So you get a better pump while you're in the gym, and that pump is the key. You can add this to any one of your pre-workouts. Now, like I said, any of this product that I'm showing here today, I can put links on there so you can buy straight from us. We'll drop ship anywhere, and we have forever. So, but Noxygen, now this is the powdered form. They do have it in a pill form too. I don't care for that as much because I could take this straight with my pre-workout and get right straight into the gym. What they've also came out with is a Noxygen pre-workout. So it's already got this inside. Purist Labs has always had amazing flavors. They don't put any dyes in any of their pre-workouts. So it looks like a cloudy water is what it looks like, but there's no dye. This one's actually like a gummy bear flavor. Yeah, gummy bear, 30 servings. You're looking at $45, which is not bad, really. You're about $1.50 a serving. So that's better than a ready-to-drink pre-workout at $3. You're about half that price. But also, a little tip. When you get done with a thing of pre-workout, since they have a tendency to clump up and get solid over time, don't leave them in your car during the summer. But take that strip out, the moisture packet out, and keep it for the next one. So when you open up another fresh one, it's got a moisture packet in it. Add another moisture pack to it. Have 2 to 3 in each one of your pre-workouts. That will let it preserve a little bit longer in case it does get in a humidity environment or it gets overheated. It won't clump up as bad because that moisture pack's pulling it away. So don't throw those moisture packs away. Put them in your pre-workout, especially if you take one from like a protein because they're usually a little bit larger. I throw them in my pre-workout because I'll throw it in my bag or whatever heading back for the gym. So it'll be in the car a little bit, but I don't want it getting all clumped up. So I add the extra moisture packs to it. There again, with Redcon 1, you cannot go wrong with Total War. Total War it is packed, especially with the creatine in it. You got in caffeine anhydrous around 300 grams or 300 grams of caffeine, citrulline, and beta-alanine. 3.2 grams of beta-alanine in there. That's a lot more than even C4 has got. The citrulline by itself, citrulline is very tart. So if you do get a little bit of a bitter taste to it, that's good because you want to know that you've got that much citrulline in there. That's only going to increase the pumps when you're working out. So Total War is going to be one of the main go-tos when you go to hit the gym. Now we'll get on to Huck stuff. This is his new Summertime Blues Let's Get Stupid pre-workout. The main reason why I like this pre-workout is the little backstory behind this is we were going to the airport in Chicago. He was wanting to start developing a pre-workout. I got him hooked up with the company I gave him the number to the guy to call that has the company that does the manufacturing. I gave him kind of a baseline of what to go with. I said, this is what you want in your pre-workout. We keep getting notifications on my. And what he took from what I originally said, he jacked everything through the roof. So your citrulline malate is at 6,000 milligrams. Remember, Cellucor only had one, so 1,000 milligrams, but this has got 6,000 milligrams. Beta alanine, 4,000 milligrams. That's a lot of beta alanine in there. So you get a lot more. You're going to be flushing that old blood out of that muscle and getting just a severe pump while you're working out. Your caffeine is mild at 300 milligrams. The caffeine anhydrous, you really don't crash after this. I know some of the older pre-workouts that had a caffeine monohydrate to it. You would drink it. An hour later, you'd go home and you'd just be exhausted and fall asleep because of that heavy crash. You won't crash afterwards. It's got taurine in it. Taurine actually helps with the citrulline. It kind of actually boosts it up. Great to have into a pre-workout. Then there's like an Astrogen and a Synactive, which is a proprietary blend that a company has put out. I've never really looked into too much of what it is because I think there's like 25 grams of each in there. So I wasn't really too worried about that. But your main thing is that citrulline malate, a 2-to-1 ratio, 6,000 milligrams. I mean, if you could find a pre-workout that's got 6,000 milligrams of citrulline in it, that's the one you want. And the other one I've got here is F-Bomb by America Labs. America Labs came out just a few years ago. They've actually grown pretty quick. They have a little bit of off-brand stuff, a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the fire flipping you off. And the brand of this one, or the flavor of this one, is F Your Feelings with a little rainbow sherbet cone. But there again, your beta alanine is 6,400 milligrams. Your caffeine's at 400 milligrams. Your taurine's at 1,000, which that's up there. And you got your alpha GPC, just like what Huck has gotten his. You've got dicaffeine malate and theobrine, which is what Noxygen was putting in a lot of theirs too. That theobrine. So I'm sure that they've got a little bit of citrulline malate in this. It's probably under a proprietary blend. But you get a good pump off of that. And 400 milligrams of caffeine, a little much for some of the time, especially if you're working out at night. But if you're waking up and you've got like a night job, this would be a good one to go ahead and get you kicked off into the gym, get you a good pump, get you a good workout in, and then off to work you go. The other, that was the last of the pre-workouts that I brought up here, but I did bring in the branched chain amino acids by Huck Finn. One thing that I like that he's done here, it's your branched chain amino acids, but then it's also your essential amino acids. But what makes this one stand out, it's got electrolytes in it. It's got coconut water in it. It's got that coconut water will help you rehydrate. So that's 1,000 milligrams of that. And this is a 2-to-1 ratio. You could actually take this and treat this like as an all-day drink. So 4 scoops of this to 1 gallon of water would be about your right ratio. And you could sit there and drink that all day. You can drink it while you're working out. You're feeding your body those BCAAs, the essential amino acids. There's no caffeine in this, so you're not going to get all jittery. A lot of times I've got one of these at my desk at work, and my 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I'll go and fill up a water bottle, shoot me a scoop of that in there, and then drink that. And this is screwdriver flavor, so it's like an orangish flavor. Very good flavors on Huck's stuff. I will give that to him. He does he does put together some decent brand. He's looking at what he would do, and I know that he personally takes all this stuff. A lot of these guys that's out there that's promoting just Joe Blow's company is they're not taking that. They're just getting a paycheck for saying so. The other thing you got to do is a micronized creatine monohydrate. Monohydrate, 5 grams of this. I would creatine load the first week at 20 grams, 4 times a day, 5 gram servings for the first week, and then drop down. Now that your body's fluid with that creatine in it, you can drop down to 1 scoop a day and get that 5 grams of creatine. This is probably the most tested supplement that's been out there. They were going to put it on the steroid ban list, but creatine is what you get out of certain foods, meat and stuff. You're digesting that, you will produce creatine in the body. So when you're supposed to be getting 200 grams of protein a day, you need enough creatine to get you through too. You're not going to get creatine usually in your protein shake, so you want to add this to your workout. So what my stack would be a good branched chain amino acids, a good creatine, and this is Phenaflex. This is who bought out the Purist Labs. So a good creatine, definitely a good pre-workout that has a lot of citrulline in it. Citrulline is going to be key when you're working out. I really don't care so much about the beta alanine anymore. But with the tingles, it's getting all that blood flowing, getting all that oxygen in that blood, which is going to help you heal faster. But definitely get you a good 4,000 to 6,000 milligrams of citrulline in your pre-workout. I had a kid come into the gym the other day, into the Zone Nutrition, and he said, "Yeah, I went over to this other nutrition store the other day, and I got this big jug, and it was about half the size of this 2 pound of pre-workout, and I mean it was bigger. It was bigger than these. It was twice the size. So like the old Super Pump containers, where the containers was just that much bigger. But he had bought this pre-workout, and he goes, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "I think that's shit. I can tell you right now just by looking at it." He goes, "Well, how can you tell that?" And I said, "You walked into a store that you don't know anybody, and you ask them, what's the best thing in here, and they're going to throw you this. First off, the serving size was 2 scoops. If you got to put 2 scoops of something in to get that serving on the back, you know it's just junk. It's loaded up with a bunch of junk. So 2 scoops of anything to hit 300 milligrams of caffeine, that's junk. Because the serving size on these, 1 scoops is 11.6 grams. On Huck's, it is 12 grams, so about the same. That's where your pre-workout should be. It shouldn't be 25 grams per scoop to hit all those active ingredients and getting those numbers. Yeah, it's a big container, but it's got to be filled up. What else is in that 25 grams to get you to that? You know there's got to be fillers in there. On top of that, if you go in somewhere where you don't know the owner and you can't really trust the owner, if you come into me, what's the best pre-workout? Well, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to grab something. I'm going to hand it to you. Here you go. This is it. This is what you want to take. Take this one. And I'm not asking you when you work out, what your workout's like, how intense are they, what kind of caffeine do you take in. That would be the questions that I would ask my customer. But if you're going somewhere and they're just shoving off a pre-workout to you, yep, this is it. This is our best seller, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. That's been sitting on the shelf a year, and they just pawned it off on somebody. That's exactly what happened. And that's what happened to this kid. Because I started looking at it, and it had like 2,000 milligrams of Himalayan salt. Why would you want salt in your pre-workout? There's no reason for that. We're going to your sodium intake on your pre-workout, that's ridiculous. You should have good natural, everything should be laid out right in front of you. No proprietary blends, no extras, no nothing. I mean, it should just be boom, 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 boom. And your top ones, your citrulline, your beta alanine, the caffeine that's in there. Then you know what that pre workout's going to do for you and how it's going to affect you. Getting this other junk and you don't know what half of the stuff is in it. And you're going to take 2 scoops of that every day for the next month just to get rid of this thing. And it probably don't even mix well. It probably don't taste well if you've got to put that much in there for them to balance out the flavoring. It's not even worth it. There's just been so much in the fitness industry lately that really all supplements are made by a handful of companies. There's probably 10 companies out there that manufacture. Not everybody manufactures their own because this is $1 million operation to create a jug of protein. So of course they're not going to have their own labs to manufacture everything. They're going to have testing labs, and they're going to have third parties come in and test to make sure that their accuracy of their count, their protein count, is going to be correct, just so they don't have to tweak they'll have to tweak their machines once in a while to make sure that everything's mixing correctly. So that's what that test is for. But, Saycor don't have their own manufacturing lab. Total War doesn't. A lot of these places they're using the same lab, and they're getting, good product coming out of there. And then you have some of them that use crap products. They kick out a crap product, and those are the smaller guys that all of a sudden you get somebody like, if I seen this F-bomb on the shelf, I would probably pass it up until I seen that it was made by America Labs, because I know what kind of reputation they have. But when you see something, a real catchy design on the front, that's where their money went into. It wasn't so much as in the product inside. It was just to catch your eye. So those are the ones I kind of stay away from. But with America Labs, I can't say enough good about them. They've got several great products out there, a lot of good pre-workout, just depending on what you're doing. If you're in CrossFit, if you're a power lifter, if you're a bodybuilder, that all depends on what kind of pre-workout you take. This one's a 17-gram scoop. It's 20 servings in this. But still, very good product. Like I said, if you want any of these, I'll put links up on the Facebook page and on Instagram. You can buy them direct from us. A lot of this stuff, I go through the largest distributor. Also on our website, on thelockupgym.com, you can shop. A lot of this stuff won't be on there because I have to get special permission to post this online. I've got permission from some of these companies already that know me. But there is a pre-workout on there, and I think it's like $25, and it's called like Striker, I think. And I tried it, and it was very good. But I like to stick to the higher citrulline, the higher counts of beta alanine and citrulline, rather than like your C4. That's mainly just beta alanine and nothing else that's going to do anything for you. If you've never tried an oxygen, I say pick it up. This stuff's like $35. And I don't know, there are like 20, 30 servings in there, probably more than that. 40 servings in there. So if you're not getting enough citrulline with your pre-workout, you add that oxygen to it, you just created a monster. And that's what it's all about. There again, you're toning up, losing some weight, thermogenic, the cream before you go to work out to get a better pump in the gym. Your creatine, and I'll tell you, Finaflex, they used to make a a multivitamin that was amazing. Now we sell the Atom multivitamin from Now for men and the Eve for women. But Phenaflex has got some of the best products out there. Even their pre-workouts have been very good over the years. Their Stimulate was a thermogenic pre-workout. I like that one, but I work out later. So when I go to bed at night, I would sleep and just sweat. I mean, it was ridiculous. I'd wake up in the middle of the night just drenched because that thermogenic was kicking in. With the abs of steel, I don't really sweat too much with it, but it's a targeted area just around your midsection. So that's definitely a must. I do have some samples, so if you're in the Taylor area and you stop in, I can give you some of those samples for that. But and the end of the Guns of Steel. But other than that, that's kind of my wrap on some of these pre-workouts. Be careful what you're taking out there. Be careful where you're buying them from. Like I said, the Walmarts and stuff like that, you do not get the same product as you would in another store. And just pick up labels. Pick up the labels, take a picture of it, and while you're right there at Walmart, you've got a little computer in your hand. Get on there and compare it to what you're used to taking and see if it even compares. See if that C4 matches what C4 shows on their website. It won't. I just printed off the ingredients labels myself, and they're two different things because Walmart comes in with a low price, and Sacor said, if you want a $5 pre-workout, we'll make you a $5 pre-workout. Now give us a check. And that's all that was. It wasn't nothing more than that. They got exactly what Walmart wanted. They just wanted that name brand in there, and they could care less of what was in that jug because they don't know. But if you got questions, whatever, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. If you got questions about supplements, feel free to reach out because I'll try to steer you in the right direction. There again, we're going to have these things online. Also, our new sweatshirts, they've been going like crazy. The new designs on that. I've got another new design I'm going to be printing this weekend. I've got another one I'm in the middle of making, more of a vintage style. The last two have been vintage styles, and it's kind of going to be kicking off this new year of, I'm so sick of the new year, new me thing that it's going to be new year, old me, because I want to be the way I used to be, when I was 20, 30 years old, the shape I was in then. I don't need a new me. I like the old me. So this year, new year, old me. That's going to be our motto around here. And we're going to do some giveaways too, especially with this podcast. Get on Spotify, like us, give us a review on there. That really helps us out with the analytics with Spotify so we can reach even more people. It helps out with monetization later on. Eventually, I will kill this Facebook feed, and everything will be on Spotify or on YouTube. And we're going to go that route because we can reach more people and actually get monetized with ads and stuff like that. We're looking into having these guests on even remotely through the phone or having them here in studio. And I know Whitney's been working on a couple people that she's wanting to get on the show. I've got a few of them that I've been reaching out to. So I think we'll get some bigger names on here and see what they have to say about the whole industry and what they went through. I know some of these people have got incredible stories out there. I mean, my story of owning the Lockup Gym and turning it into more of a brand that is way bigger than just Taylorville, Illinois. When you have people in the fitness industry that's at the Arnold, that's at the Fit Expos, that know me by that logo and know about the gym is just completely, floored me over the years. But we will get in that at a later date and time. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I'm sure you're done listening to me, and I'm going to try to drag Whitney in here next week. If not, she's got a boxing charity event in St. Louis that she'll be ring girling for. on next Thursday night, I believe. So you'll be able to catch her there, or the next Shamrock fight, I think, is in St. Charles. Of course, she'll be there for that one. And other than that, not a whole lot more going around here in the lockup gym. Memberships are dragging in a little slow, so for you people that's in this area, get in here, get your membership. Let's get you started. Let's get you started before the New Year's resolution people come in, and get you familiarized with the equipment and stuff like that before we get a rush of people coming in. Other than that, we're going to see you down in the lockup. We'll see you. I don't have any shows or anything like that coming up here. We'll be in Vegas here in a couple weeks, but that'll be another story. So until then, we will catch you later, and definitely leave us some reviews or send us some feedback on these podcasts. I've heard from just a few people. If there's topics you want us to hit, if I didn't cover enough on some of these supplements, I'll be glad to return to them or reach out and ask me. So www.thelockupgym.com. The new sweatshirts will be on there for order. I've got a lot of them already printed up. We're burning through them here. A new gym bag will be on there too. So you can order directly through there, get them shipped to your house. Plenty of time for Christmas. If you want to put bundle stacks together, contact me. I'll put bundle stacks together and say a protein, a pre-workout, and your aminos, whatever, as a bundle. We'll do that. Get those things set up for Christmas, and then be looking for a giveaway too with this new podcast. I'd like to give some stuff away for some of these listeners. So check us out on Spotify. Give us a review.